Tonight's DJNTV show is sponsored in part by Electro Voice, DJ Event Planner, ADJ, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, Newmark, and DJNTV Insiders.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast, the PHDJ podcast.
That's ballsy, Joe.
Wow.
Is it really everyone's favorite? I hope so.
Hey,
that would be nice.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
We just got back from Vegas, and we heard that a number of times, right?
Yeah, we did. I think our egos, my ego is flying high right now.
That's it. It takes three people to stop us in the hallway and say they listen, and all of a sudden it's like,
yeah, the biggest podcast ever. So
who cares about Adam Carolla? It's us.
it's all us. Feeling big about ourselves this week. Anyway, that's Mike Walter.
What's
Joe
up,
Bunn.
everybody?
I'm Joe Bunn, and again, just giving out this number for anybody that wants to stay in the know with the PHDJ movement, the workshop, the podcast, 919-364-6186. Just text PHDJ to that, 919-364-6186, and you'll be added to the list. You only have to do it once. But moving on, we did just mention Mobile Beat. Mike and I have just recently returned from there, and I got to be honest, it was a great trip, Mike.
I agree. I thought Mobile Beat did a fantastic job, from production to content to everything. I thought it was great.
So let's recap for those that missed it for whatever reason, and before
those that attended and just want to hear what our highlights were.
That's
either
true.
one.
That's true. Or the behind the scenes, maybe. Before we get into that, Mike, I would just, I wrote an article yesterday for Disc Jockey News about this. I've written the same article before, and this was just kind of a different spin. Mike's written this article as well. I'm sure I've read it in some publication. There's a lot of us out there. I mean, we hope we have thousands of listeners. We probably have, 400 or 500 loyal listeners, and we appreciate you guys. But my point is, there's tons of mobile DJs, and everybody should be not only listening to the podcast, but everybody should try and attend these conferences, or at least a conference a year.
Yeah, it blows me away that you could be in this profession, even part-time. And I know this profession has a lot of part-timers in it, which is fine. I don't look down on that at all. But even if you're part-time at this, why not make one of the expos or conventions throughout the year, whether it's a regional one,
sure,
like ARMS or Midwest, which I'm speaking at for the first time this year, in May, or one of the big ones. Yeah, just make one. But yeah, there are some people who not only don't attend, but are almost like
above it, or?
Yeah, and they almost like look down on it. They almost like defiantly don't attend. Like, why would I go to one of those things? I'm like, I don't know, education, better your craft. Like, it seems to me pretty obvious, but who knows?
Well, anyway, guys, coming from two guys that have been in the business for 30 plus years, Mike and I, we go every year. I mean, we go to something or multiple things a year, whether we're speaking or not. I know that I was there last year. Mike spoke at Mobile Beat, but I didn't speak. And, I went, picked up a few things to bring back to my business. Probably saw some gear that I wanted, made some new friends, made new connections. I was entertained. It's Las Vegas. It's just, I don't know, it kind of blows me away. But let's start from the beginning, Mike. So you got in, why don't you kind of recap your trip and your highlights?
I got in early Sunday, which I had saved some money. I thought I was being cheap about it because the first flight out of Jersey was like $200 cheaper than the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So poor Kelly had to wake up at 4 a.m. last Sunday, drive me to the airport so I could make the 6:30 a.m. flight. But it turns out I wasn't that cheap because Marcello was on the same flight as me and the SCE crew. I was with Janai and Jeff and Tony. So apparently all of us had the same idea. So we got out there nice and early. Fortunately, we got a room at the Trop right away, which it was definitely a test in how nice you can speak to the two people. I walked up to somebody, when they had the reception desk, and the woman just had a chip on her shoulder. No room's till noon. And I was like, can you just check and see? So it's like 10 a.m. at this point. Can you check? No room's till noon. and Marcello's kind of schmoozing another woman. So I went over to them. And she says, and I heard her say, yeah, all I have is a king right now, which he was rumored with Anthony, so he didn't want. But I said, I'll take the king.
Nice.
So she was like, great. So she checks me in. And then after she checked me in, I said, rooms pop up all the time. Could you check again? And sure enough, she checked again. And wow. 2 queens had opened up. So Marcello and I, 10 a.m., got our room. And then we went out to Red Rock for a little hike / run, cool. Just the two of us. Yeah. So it was a really great day great way to start the week.
Yeah, man. I got in, let's see, I got in.
You got in later Sunday.
I did. I got in, I went up, got in about 5 o'clock Vegas time, met up with Toad and Chris Romero and some of Toad's guys, and went out to eat at this real cool place, and then went straight to the 311 show.
Great. And how was that?
I thought it was amazing, man. I mean,
and you told me this already. My prediction was correct. You were the only one not stoned there.
I was the only one not stoned,
but,
I think.
But I'm sure by the end of it, you were kind of high, because that contact high is a significant thing.
I felt real weird when I came back to the hotel.
No doubt.
And then people were trying to talk to me, and I just kind of was like, out of it.
Yeah.
Because it's not even like at that thing, it's almost like people don't offer. They do this thing where they just like put it right to your mouth, and I'm like, no, I'm good, man.
Wow, that's aggressive.
It's like, I'm like, and it's like people sharing joints and weed vape pipes, and
that's that whole community, dude. That goes back to the whole hippie thing. I guarantee in Woodstock, people were not asking, do you want to smoke? They were just passing joints around. Exactly. Yeah.
Good times, though, man. Great show. Had a great time, and then. So Monday content kicked off, right, Mike? So that was,
well, Monday morning we had the think tank morning, which I thought was great. Some good stuff. We're not allowed to talk about that, but some good stuff. And then Monday afternoon, things kicked off with Randy Bartlett, which I thought was, I had seen some of the videos that he was using, so it was a little bit of a repeat stuff. But I mean, Randy always puts a cool, unique spin on his stuff, and to me, if that's going to be his last. What are we calling it now? Major seminar, because I guess he's speaking for KC in July. I don't know what exactly we're calling that, but if that's part of, let's say it's part of his
farewell tour,
farewell tour, retirement tour, then I didn't want to miss it, because I'm not going to be at Marquee in July. So for me, that was my last chance. And I've seen Randy probably do as many seminars as any other speaker I've ever seen, and so I want to miss that. And he delivered. And then I thought it was great that Mobile B gave him the. What was that, a lifetime achievement?
And it was 90 minutes. That's, I mean,
that's
a lot
Randy got, I think, the longest slot of the week. Is that, I think, right?
Yeah, it was crazy long.
Yeah.
Then do you have the schedule put up? Is it still up?
I don't. I don't know that we need to go through this.
Okay. Piece by piece, but
schedule by schedule. What were some of your favorite seminars of the week?
I mean, you know what? I've never. I don't know that he has ever given a seminar before, but Jason Clark did a great job.
I thought Clark was phenomenal, and I was young gun. Well, I mean, not that young anymore.
30,
was he 30? Right? Yeah,
I don't know. That's young to me.
But I put this up on Facebook. Jason, a number of years ago, I'm saying probably 8 to 10 years ago, he contacted me. I think I'd met him at a show.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, I'd love to take you to lunch and just pick your brain. And I said, dude, you're in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It's like 3.5 hours from me. And he goes, I'll drive to you. And he literally drove to me. So 3.5 hours on the road. We probably had a 90-minute lunch and then home.
You rolled out. I know.
And just to really network and quote unquote pick my brain, and to see that young man do that, and then now again, I don't know what it is, 8 to 10 years later.
Yeah.
Clock Entertainment is kicking butt, and to see him up there on that stage, polished and looking great and delivering really great content. It was about time management and some of the stuff we talk about in the PHDJ workshop about life balance, and he had some beautiful pictures of his kids and his family, and and leaving time for them and the importance of that. I thought it was a phenomenal seminar, and I was really proud of him.
Good job, Clock. Good job. I know also on day one was my man, your man, Jason Jani.
Oh, yeah. Jason's seminar on branding was awesome.
I retitled it Real Talk. That was his keywords or his crutch or whatever.
He kept going back to Real Talk. I thought that was great.
Hey, listen, guys, and that's Real Talk.
And you had that in your video, which I just saw.
I did.
And so, I know that you had that before Jason's, because this video was already produced. But you say, which I watched, by the way, which I highly recommend. I thought it was really good.
Thanks, man.
Called Hiring the Music, right?
Yep. So
available at Joe Bunn.
Yeah, DJJoeBunn.com.
Okay.
So brand new video out, guys. I just put it out in Las Vegas. I let everyone that was there get it first, and then then Monday I sent it out to all the people that had bought it in the pre-sale. So if you are having trouble, thanks, Mike, for the little subtle plug there. If you're having trouble with hiring or finding talent, which is what I spoke on in Vegas, even training, retaining, then pick it up, djjoebunn.com.
Well, and also what I think is interesting, if you have followed my stuff about hiring, read my book, for example, or listened to me talk about it, Joe and I disagree on a number of different things. There's some topics that have already come up on this podcast. So I think it is interesting to see kind of both sides of the angle, and you can pick and choose, or you don't even have to pick and choose. You can do both ways if you want.
You can do a melting pot of both.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. But you make your points very well, and you explain why you do certain things, which I think is the key. And then you can also point to your company's success as proof that it works, which is similar to what I do. I tell people all along, you don't have to follow the way I do things, but I'll tell you this, it works. Yeah. It's successful. So you can't say it's not a good idea. You can say it's not for me, but you can't say it's not a good idea.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You can't say it doesn't work. You could just say it's not for you. Well, Mike, before we pump each other up on our respective seminars, name a couple other highlights. Do you remember anybody else that stood out that you like?
So Sonny from Wedding Wire, to me, always puts on a great seminar. Yeah. It's informative. It's kind of like mind-blowing because he kind of shows you what's coming down the pike in the future. And that stuff might not have a lot of business sway or whatever, but it's interesting, you know what I mean? But as far as business goes, Sonny has been saying this forever, and now is the time. His whole point about if your site is not responsive and mobile friendly and ready to go, you are now
a dinosaur.
It's not a warning anymore. It's reality. You are now losing SEO, and Google will no longer recognize you. So
you're losing business. You're losing money.
Yeah, straight up losing business. Yeah. So no doubt. And so Sonny, while he does talk about some stuff that's kind of esoteric and out there and trippy, there are definitely some nuggets in there that are like, oh yeah, this is, you have to do this stuff now. So and Sonny's one of those guys, he speaks everywhere, so he's polished and he's smooth, and he's always got a great keynote presentation with some cool videos and stuff like that. So I always enjoy hearing Sonny.
And then that guy Byron from Ohio, he kind of kicked the bee's nest a little bit.
I didn't understand. I don't follow him online.
Yeah, I don't either.
For me, I don't. He came on stage like he was defensive already. Like he was convinced that the whole room was pissed off at him. Yeah. And I sat there just saying, I don't even know who you are. Like communicate. And then as he went through his points about growing his company, I was like, dude, he and I agree on 80% of the stuff that he's talking about. So I think he had some really good content. I didn't understand the vulgarity. I mean, I just, you know me, I don't curse when I'm on stage, and if I do, I give everybody fair warning. It's important to the story. Like that one that I told about about Chic writing La Freak that had a curse in it that you couldn't tell that story without the F word. But I gave fair warning for that. And again, that's my style. I know Gary Vaynerchuk and other people. Jeffrey Gitomer drops the S bomb all the time on stage, so it's not right or wrong, but he used the R word, which to me is like almost like using the N word at this point. You should, if you say retard or retarded in your language, you should remove that because it's offensive to people. And he just dropped that like it was everyday language. So to me, it was more about the delivery and the language that I was like, what are you so pissed at?
Right. I think that I thought that it was going to be. I didn't know the guy either. People had told me that there was just, a big hubbub online about how he only charged $500. So I thought that the seminar was going to be defending that price tag, but it wasn't about that. And again, a lot of the things he said in terms of, hiring the DJs or organization and things were things that we do here. So I think, I don't think it ever got to what I thought it was going to be, but it stood out for sure.
I forget the young man's name, but Boom Entertainment from Chicago. Did you see that?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Jordan Newhouse.
Jordan, that's right. I could not wear what he wore.
Right.
He had the tight jeans with the socks.
Pulled up.
Yeah, pulled up over the jeans. I was like, and I forget who I was sitting next to. I was like, I couldn't pull that look off. Good for him, man.
Yeah.
He can pull that look off. But I mean, here's a successful young man
Killing it.
who told his story and showed some unbelievable videos, and I was impressed by that too.
Yeah, good stuff. And then let me think. I mean, there were obviously more standouts. That the British guy that went right before me couldn't have been more polished, I guess the word is. Or
I only got to see a little bit of his seminar, but I loved Mobile Beat. I loved the way he was pronouncing Mobile Beat. That was awesome.
And he
there was
also used the word learnt.
Oh yeah, you brought that up.
Yeah, I went nuts because I was like, that's like a super. That's super redneck. Like, but it must be.
It's not super redneck. It's actually the way the English pronounced.
Right, but I'm saying here, it's like it's bad English. Like,
you know what? It reminded me. I'm working on my Today in Music book, and I'm working with a proofreader, and she just sent me. I'm giving her months at a time.
Yeah.
And she just sent back June, and one of the things she questioned was I used the word dreamt instead of dreamed, and So she's like, I just want you to, just consider that. Dreamed is another way of saying that. But I kept dreamt in because I like, to me, the past tense of dream. I think it's cooler to say dreamt.
Me too.
But it's simpler, I think. Made me think.
So anyway, let me talk. Let me just speak on Mike real quick. All right. So let me give you background. It's 9 a.m. It's Wednesday morning. So now you're in day 3.
Vanilla Ice has gone on the night before,
right,
so everybody's a little tired and cranky.
Yeah, right. Let's just touch on that briefly before I get to Mike. Monday night there was a party. Several people. It is actually snowing here, like a legit snowstorm. It's March.
Dude, I'm watching 21st. Out my window, and yeah, I mean, they're calling for a foot of snow today.
It's weird for us, okay?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's weird for us because it's the first day of
March,
spring,
right?
And it's snowing. It's 2 months ago maybe, but now we're supposed to be seeing the lilies pop up.
Now it sucks.
Yeah.
But anyway, quick party recap. I went to the Monday night party at the Havana Room. Several people that are friends of ours were supposed to play. But there was a lot of talking from Hank Shockley, the MC, and they kind of got cut off. Nonetheless,
well, Nate specifically, right?
Yeah,
and
Nate always gets boned.
I told Nate the next day when I heard, because I had left.
Sure.
I cannot. I don't do the party stuff out there. I'm too tired. I never adjust.
Right.
10 p.m. is 1 a.m. for me, and I haven't adjusted yet.
Right.
But so I told Nate the next day, he's got to make this his shtick.
Yeah.
Like next year when he goes on, as soon as he goes on, the fire alarm should go off. And then the year after that, as soon as he goes on, like somebody should collapse on the dance floor and the EMTs come in. Like every year there should be something. Like one year maybe one of his controllers blows up or something. Just because it's just now it's a thing.
Now it is a thing.
Yeah,
he's like 0 for 3 at DJing at conferences.
Nate cut off or something. They can call him or something.
And then a lot of people went to Jewel afterwards. I didn't go to that. Tuesday night was the Vanilla Ice.
And then there was an after party, I think, for.
But don't leave out. Hold on. So Cupid kicked it off. Right, we're at dinner. So Cupid comes out and does a couple songs in the Cupid Shuffle. Then Fat Man Scoop, who we walk in, and that's going on, and he was actually killing it. He just basically played a track and screamed over it. Then he took his shirt off, if you remember that, which is never.
No, I wasn't there.
Oh! I thought you were.
I was speaking the next day. We went Tuesday night. Joe and I we had a nice dinner for our PHDJ graduates, which was awesome.
That was fun.
And we got back to the hotel, and I didn't have my badge with me, so I was going to have to go up to my room to get my badge to get into the party. And I just said, you know what? If I go up to my room, I know I ain't coming back down.
That's good.
So I just said goodnight to everybody. I was a good little speaker. Yes. I was in bed nice and early the night before I was speaking. So and I think that helped me the next day. I had gotten a really good night's sleep, and I wasn't hungover at all, or cranky.
I had
like half the audience.
Right. I had bought the VIP badge, which I highly recommend to anybody listening to this for next
Which got
year.
you what? Via like backstage?
Yeah, I mean, there was a backstage tour. There was an extra mixing thing with that Blend school of DJing. There was. Basically, the main thing was that you got to sit in the front 2 rows, which you have a table,
2 rows,
and then you can have your laptop out and power under the table and everything. So,
what's the price, Joe?
And I think it was an extra couple $100. I mean, and there was maybe 40 people, and I guess the highlight was that you got to go in after Vanilla Ice and meet Vanilla Ice.
Oh, nice.
So I went. you know, literally he went off, and then 5 minutes later they let us in, and he just was like, "Yeah, don't be shy, guys." And honestly, man, I was expecting the worst. Couldn't have been a cooler guy.
Cool.
And honestly, at 50, the dude looks incredible for somebody that works outside on houses.
Hey, watch that, dude. You make 50 sound like it's ancient, man.
I know, but I'm saying, listen to me. If you're 50, whatever you are now, Mike, and you've gone through that lifestyle of partying, drinking, dancing, working outside in South Florida in the sun, like, I would look like a baked potato. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I don't do any of those things. I don't drink, smoke, and I stay out of the sun. But anyway, the dude was super cool. And I told him, I was like, bro, you look awesome. Like, and he was like, man, I'm just doing my thing. Keep on smiling. You know, he kind of gave me the standard line, gave him some love, took a picture, and rolled out. But anyway, going back to Mike's seminar. So Mike is on the opening slot of day 3 after the Vanilla Ice party.
And P.S. Jake from Mobile Beat had said to me, I want to put you in that time slot, and I'd like you to open up with something high energy, interactive. And so we came up with the title, Get Up and Interact. Like that, the title was exactly what he wanted me to do. You know, for somebody looking from the outside in that doesn't consider himself an interactive DJ, I mean, I'm telling you, from minute 30 seconds in, Mike has 500 people at 9 a.m. out of their seats clapping along to a song that he basically rewrote. Was it Money Money? I did Money Money, and like, you know, the part where people say get laid, get I redirected them, and I do that at events too. And I had a number of people after me say, "Man, I never thought to do that." But you know, at events, if people scream that, I'll be like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! This is a family show," and then I'll have them say something like, "Hey, let's party tonight," or something like that. Just something cheesier, PG rated. So at Mobile Beat, I had everybody chanting, "Hey, Mobile Beat is great." And I was so disappointed. I asked Ryan Berger afterwards. I said, "Did you see the beginning of my seminar?" He said he wasn't in the room. And I was like, I think Ryan would have been very proud in that moment to see hundreds of DJs chanting, "Hey, Mobile Beat is great." So hopefully somebody shows them the video.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
at least at 9 a.m. I mean, that's a tough slot. But then Mike had some slides. You only did 30 minutes as well, right? So I did
30 minutes, and I crammed as much as I could in, man. I got as much as,
you know, flying through this thing, speeding through it, but got to some slides. And then I guess this is all original content, and you know, hopefully people will buy the DVDs when they come out from Mobile Beat. But Mike compared interactivity to Timberlake and showed Timberlake. He goes, "Who likes Justin Timberlake?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, me." And he's like, so here's an intimate clip that he did, and he shows the Super Bowl, and then basically went through and broke it down, showed it again and broke it down almost like game footage. And it was just so well done, and made so many points about, you know, if you think you're too cool for interactivity, then think about Timberlake, because he does exactly the same things that I do.
And the final slide about that point was, if it's good enough for JT, it's good enough for me.
Yeah, me too.
And listen, my goal is not to get every single DJ in the industry out on the dance floor in a chicken suit, you know, jumping around, sequin jacket. But my point, and I started this seminar by saying a number of people have said to me through the years, I'm not an interactive DJ.
Yeah.
And that shows me you don't understand the word interactive. Every DJ is interactive.
Yeah.
We set up equipment and we play music for our guests. So we are already interacting with people. So instead of saying there's an interactive DJ and a non-interactive, just understand we're all on the same spectrum. You might tack over to the left, I might tack over to the right, but so it's not like you have to jump from where you are to where I am. Nudge yourself a little bit. Do one little thing. You know, come out from the DJ table one time during the night or something like that. So that was my takeaway there. And the point of showing Justin Timberlake, I wanted to show somebody outside of our industry. Because I could show myself or Marcello or somebody like that on the dance floor, but you're still looking within your industry. But my point was, I'm pretty sure every DJ in that room would trade places with Justin Timberlake. And so, if you think he's cool, well, look, and I showed a 60-second clip from the Super Bowl where he did 3 prompts with the crowd. 3 in 60 seconds. So, and yes, he killed it.
I spent the last. This is how sick I am. I've spent the last 3 days analyzing like videos from the DC show, because I'm going to Chicago Tuesday to see Timberlake, and calling people on the phone and then holding up a diagram and asking them where I'm supposed to stand on the floor for the best entertainment value for the Timberlake show. That's how sick I am.
Yeah.
Now go ahead and tell me how awesome I was.
So, dude, Joe had a very unenviable time slot. Last day, late morning last day. It wasn't easy. And your room was not as crowded as it had been because a lot of people left. I mean, it was just I think percentage-wise, you had the same percentage as Randy Bartlett had on Monday or I had on Wednesday. And when I say percentage, as far as attendees versus people in the room, but you delivered, Joe, and one of the things I mean, I've watched you do seminars and speak at our workshop all the time, so I'm so used to it. But you're so comfortable, and you had a couple of joke slides in there, which I use PowerPoint or Keynote in the same way. Sometimes the punchline of a joke isn't something you say, but something you put up. Joe, a good example, Joe referenced me at one point and just put up a picture of Peter Gallagher without referencing it whatsoever.
Hey, by the way, if you don't know if you don't know who Peter Gallagher is, stop this and Google it. And now,
he's the actor. Everybody's got a famous doppelganger, and he's the guy that some people say to me, "Hey, did anybody ever tell you look like Peter Gallagher?" And I consider it a compliment. Now, you made a point the other day. Yes, there are newer pictures of Peter Gallagher where he doesn't look so good. He's let his hair go gray, and he looks a little older. But the classic Peter Gallagher pictures, if you Google them, I consider that an absolute compliment. He's a handsome actor, and I'll take that. But it was funny that you didn't see, it wouldn't have been as good if you said, "Don't you think he looks like Peter Gallagher?" But just the fact that you put that picture up and let the awareness of it, because there were some people who were probably like, "Is that Mike Walter? Who is that?" And then it kind of trickled through the room.
Because it slides in. I go, "My good friend Mike Walter," and I hit the clicker, and that picture slides in, and then it's kind of like this wave of
recognition and then laughter.
And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. No, this is I'm like, how is this not the same person?"
And you know what? We've never been seen in the same room before. So it could be
Peter Gallagher.
I could be, or he could be me, either one. Joe, I thought your content was great. It was really basically a lot of what you talk about in your new video about your concepts about hiring. One of the things I love about your new video that you obviously didn't have time for in the seminar was how you walk people actually through the interview that you have with one of your guys. I thought that was great to show how you make it conversational, but yet you also still get your points across, and you're able to extract information from somebody while still making it a conversation, not an interview, if you will. So I thought that was great. But I thought your seminar was phenomenal, and you hit all your points, and you did well. Have you checked, by the way, did you download the app, the Mobile Beat app?
I did, yeah.
Do you know that people can score you on that?
No.
So the other day I was 5 stars with I think with 7. Let me just see. I should have checked this in advance.
I know.
There's a speaker section.
Yeah.
And then it shows. I got 5 stars and I got 10 people rated me.
Wow.
Thank you, 10 people. If you were at Mobile Beat and you liked my seminar, go ahead and rate me. If you didn't like it, you're at 5 stars, but you only have 5. So that just shows my point. You didn't have as many people in the room, but you still have a perfect rating. Thanks. So good for you.
Cool. Oh, there I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Janai got 5, 7 ratings, 5 stars. Makes sense. What did Randy Bartlett get? This is exciting, right, for the listener? Is this exciting? Is this like KC saying hello to everybody individually? 5 stars. Randy Bartlett got 10.
Clock 4.5. 4 ratings. Cool. I didn't know you could do that.
Byron Gunter, 2.25 stars with 11 ratings. Ouch.
Oh, man.
Okay. Well, it just shows you, man. He pissed a lot of people off. What are you going to do? Okay.
Well, anyway, guys, again, thank you so much for everybody that approached us individually as a pair. Mike and I took a multitude of pictures I've seen online for people that wanted selfies or in front of the step and repeat. Literally dozens of people came up to me and said, "Guys, please, whatever you do, keep doing the podcast. It's helped."
I think it's important to understand that Joe and I have big gaping holes in our soul that need to be filled with positive reinforcement. So this is really important to us. Like telling us, so even if you don't listen, although how would you hear this if you didn't listen? That's a dichotomy.
That's true.
just let us know. Even if you've only listened one time and is the only podcast, if you ever see us, just give us a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Say you're a loyal listener, and we will be able to sleep that night without tossing and turning, going, why?
Yep. And again, guys, the whole week, just to wrap up the week, the whole week wrapped up with Mike and I starting our PHDJ workshop right next door at 2 p.m. We went 2 to 6 day 1, and we went 9 to 5 as hard as we could go on day 2, and had 20 graduates?
21 in the room.
21.
19 plus and 2 plus ones, and it was phenomenal. We got great feedback as we've always gotten. Added 21 new people to our closed Facebook group of graduates, and we hope, we don't have any plans yet, but we would, we need to talk to Ryan and Jake from Mobile Bee. We'd love to be back in that time slot next year.
That's right. So
I blocked off the weekend after, so I'm free.
So hopefully we can announce dates soon for that. And you know, it was great, guys. We all had lunch together on the second day. We all had dinner together on the first night. People said when they gave their takeaways at the end of it that one of the best parts was just meeting the other classmates, if you will, and the amount of information that they shared. So anyway, thank you guys again for all the love, all the support. Again, to stay up in the know, 919-364-6186. Just text PHDJ to that, and we'll be back with another episode real soon.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, later.